Hello, and welcome to the Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. We are two sisters who share our fondness for knitting, the things that we create, and the love we have for the knitting community. And we do it with a twist of both the frivolous and the frugal. I am Frivolous Dawn, and in our family's birth order, I am the fourth of 8 children.
Hello, and I am Frugal Miss Penny. I am the eldest in our family of 8 children, and it's a pleasure to have you join us today. Unfortunately, the other 2 members of our team weren't able to join us, and that is faithful Nicky. She is number 3 in the birth order, and she is our head cheerleader, statistician, and all things details. And we also, isn't that the truth? I mean,
that is
all things details, yeah. And then we also have our niece, Fearless Miss Brianna. She is the daughter of number 7. And when you get the chance to meet both of them, I think you're going to love them, possibly even more than you like us. And speaking of liking, we like you. Thank you for joining us again if you're a returning viewer. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. As always, we're hoping that you glean a nugget or two from the things that we're learning as we're knitting different projects. And if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. We're so glad you were able to join us. And if you don't mind, just put down in the comments how or where you heard from us. As well as we hope for the returning viewers, we're hoping that you, our new viewers, also find a nugget or two that you can glean from our projects and our experiences. So without further ado, grab your favorite note-taking device, your knitting and a sense of humor. I'm sorry, I almost dropped a stitch. Your knitting and a sense of humor, and join us for episode 95 of the Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. Take it away, Dawn, before I drop the stitch.
I think myself, did she just have a mental lapse?
I did, and I'm knitting with, what do you call it, lace weight yarn. Why am I trying to do that while we're recording? You should have said.
I don't want to look up with eyes like, are you okay? How many fingers am I holding up? It's like, no. We'll see if this resolves.
It will, just as soon as I get it on the right needle. So what's around your neck? Or no, yeah, what's around your neck?
What's around my neck? This is yet another Colorshift. Colorshift is a pattern by Carina Spencer. This I knit out of my leftovers from the Stephen West shawl in 2021, I think. So I have no idea what all the yarns are, but they all are fingering weight. I know that. In this pattern, you knit on a US size 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then you keep adding and marling, and you'll see yet another one today. I just love these. I wear them all the time. It is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and currently the price is $6. I gave it a $1 sign on the frugalometer for the fiber because it's all left over, and then I gave the pattern a $2 sign. So I just need one of these in like every color that I wear, I think.
Well, you've made me a fan. In all honesty, yeah, the one that I knit, I really enjoyed. So thanks for doing it.
What's around your neck?
It's going to be a noose here if I don't if I don't shape up and knit this thing right. I am wearing changing light. Maybe that's what I need, is a different light. This pattern is by Jennifer Weissman. You have seen it before. Dawn and I both knitted as a sisters knit along. I knit mine in Suburban Stitcher in the Coal, the Rorschach, and the Sari Silk colorways on a US size 5. And I gave for the frugalometer $5 signs for the fiber and 2 for the pattern. Right now, the pattern is going for $7.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what Miss Ruby back here is wearing. Oh, the reason I'm wearing these is they were shop models for Magpie's Cottage, but I got all my shop models back.
Oh, okay.
And like Christmas Day, I got all these things back.
Yeah.
This shawl probably everybody has knit. This is the Boneyard by Stephen West. It was one of the first patterns he designed. By the way, it's still a free pattern. The yarn I used on it was it's HiKoo by Sueno Tweed, and the color is called Comforting Cream. And I just like all the little tweedy bits in there. So this is a really nice in a lot of different colorways, but they share the same tweedy bits, so they work well together. Tweedy bits. Now, is that a word? I don't know. I just made it one.
It is now.
It's on a US size 7. He updated the pattern maybe a few years ago now, so you have a couple of different choices for the increases and decreases along the spine. I think this is a great first shawl pattern. It's one of those that you knit till you're happy with the size of it. So maybe based on the yarn that you're using or the size you're looking for. As far as a frugalometer, I gave it a $3 sign for the fiber. And again, the pattern is free on Ravelry, so I gave it a $1 sign. I look forward to wearing that one again. It'll be nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of looking forward to wearing something again, I would like to wear what Opal's sporting today. It is my all-time favorite. Everyone knows this, the Pebble shawl by Pebble Beach shawl by Helen Stewart. I knit it in Malabrigo sock.
It's gonna be a long episode.
Oh, you know what? If we were smart, we'd probably start over, but we're not gonna do that. Malabrigo sock in the stars colorway. I knit that on a size 6, and on the frugalometer, $5 signs for the fiber and 2 for the pattern. Currently, it's $7.63.
You know, if I could buy a dozen skeins of that color of yarn, yeah, I know that was a special colorway for Knit Stars, but man, I like that colorway.
And you really can't see it, but it has depth. There are some purples and some indigos in there, and it's a very nice color. Probably one of my favorites as well.
You may have given me the leftovers, I think.
Oh, I may have. I'm surprised I parted with leftovers.
That was before
You caught me at a weak moment.
I was probably drooling over your shawl, and you wouldn't give me the shawl, so you gave me the leftover yarn. So, what's on your needles? You see the struggle. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real, and you all are seeing exactly what it's been since I've cast it on. I am actually knitting Charlotte's Easy Lace Shawl by Lily Chan. Now, the pattern itself is not difficult. All right, I'm just telling you, this is not a difficult pattern. The knitter is what's being difficult. I am knitting it in lace weight wool silk by Jagger, and it's in the Zephyr colorway. So just a very neutral color, right? And I decided, because it earned $10 signs on the frugalometer of 5, that I was going to use every single centimeter of this. And so mine is going to be a bit larger than her large. Her large shawl in the pattern used 1,000 yards of lace. I'm going to have about 1,200.
Wow.
So it's going to be a little bit longer. But you will see that I have reinstalled lifelines.
Yeah. And
the reason I did that is I had to tink back from here to here. And so now I got all that 6.5 inches undone, and I've restarted it. And so now I'm going about every 3 or 4 repeats whenever I remember. And so I'm hoping to have it done by the end of this month.
Nice. Are you on your second skein?
I am.
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was going to be so large.
Well, you know, I'm not so sure I wanted another handkerchief or a bandana.
Sure.
And so I wanted something large enough, because I will wear this one time, and then I am going to put it in a Ziploc bag and make it an heirloom. Oh. Because lace snags so easily. And I don't want to have to go back and figure out how to weave it back in. And I'm sure blocking is going to take up my entire living room, or either that or the driveway. And once I only wanted to block it once. So anyway, it's going to be huge, Dawn. I just stretched it out. It is going to be enough. We could put the whole family under this. It could be a tent.
Let's get a good picture.
Well, we will. Just bring your extra duty long lens because it's gonna be big. But anyway, I'm hoping to get it done before our son's wedding, and then on to my Christmas knitting. Yeah. So what's on your needles?
Well, as we speak, I am working on yet another dishcloth. This is the March dishcloth, and of course I'm in the middle of a row, so let's see if I can stretch it out. There we go.
Ooh, pretty
This
pattern.
is, free patterns by the Kitchen Sink Shop. You sign up for the newsletter, and the first of every month, the pattern shows up in your email. Eventually, it'll get its way to Ravelry. And I assume you could still sign up. I don't know that. This one, oh, they're all made after desserts or sweet treats. So this is biscotti. I just think I have a couple more repeats and I'm done with this one. The yarn I'm using is that I've had in my stash forever. I'd hate to think how old this is. I love this cotton by Hobby Lobby, and the color is amethyst. Now she recommended a US size 3 needle, and I thought I was knitting on a 3, but according to my needle gauge, it's a 4. I wonder if I had to be the same for last month because I used the same needle as last month. And so I like it. I'm going to just keep all of these and maybe give them for some Christmas gifts, or if I have to go to a wedding shower or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I gave the pattern a $1 sign. Again, the website is where I would go to look for it first. Otherwise, I think you can go back a couple of months and they're starting to show up on Ravelry. And the yarn, I'm going to say a $1 sign. It says $3.79 here, but do you ever pay full price at Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I haven't shopped in Hobby Lobby in years.
I have no idea how old this is. I can't remember what I bought all this cotton for, but I have several different color skeins. So I hope to use those throughout the year. So that is what is one of the things that's currently on my needles. Now, do you have anything else, or you are?
I'm monogamous.
Monogamous. Well, let me give you some updates on some of my other ongoing. I'm going to read here. The Burra Cowl continues. We're doing that as a knit along with several other podcasters. Penny always puts the list of the other podcasters in the show notes. It's a pattern by Marie Wallen. And I just finished the 3rd repeat.
Beautiful, Dawn. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you pleased?
I am. And it's interesting. I steam it just right before the podcast so I can make it podcast pretty, because that's a thing. So this part again down here, loosening up a little bit. You can see it's a tad wider and it is softer. Now, next to Skin Soft, not quite yet, but maybe it's still pretty crunchy up here. The pattern calls for 4 repeats. This is the end of the 3rd repeat. I'm definitely going to do 4. I have enough yarn to probably get a 5th repeat in. Not sure about the 6th, but I'm just going to try it after the 4th repeat to see where I'm at. I'm in no hurry to get it done. I try to do 4 rows a day. I don't quite make that, but I'm pretty close. It is knit on a US size 3, and the yarn is Jameson and Smith Spindrift. On my Ravelry page are all the specific colors, but they are the colors in the pattern as well. So on the Frugalometer, I gave the fiber $3 signs and $2 signs for the pattern. The pattern is currently on sale on Ravelry for $5.17. So, you know what? I'm going to want it bigger because I'm going to want to be able to kind of do a little twist so that it goes underneath the jacket. Interesting. Not my colors at all. But it's interesting how she puts them together. So I agree. She's a color genius.
Yes, yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm liking it, and definitely feeling much more comfortable with two-handed color work. So, and then I've been doing a frugal little tip. Look at my yarn, and each color is in its own little zip.
Look at you.
I know. Stop the madness. I think I need a new project bag to put it in. And I am all in a mess here.
Are you? It's the theme today.
Let's see. How can I be so? I had this all so nicely laid out.
Oh, well.
Okay.
No, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's what Mike Tyson says.
That's the last, or one of the last podcasts too.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is, it may be new to the podcast. This is a pattern called the Coral Reef Wrap by Lisa Hans. It is a long wrap. Look at these cut. Look at that.
I know. Oof, I like that.
Did I show this last time?
Yes.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to try to come in a little bit closer. Can you see these little stitch markers that are hanging?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's the halfway point.
Oh.
So I just started the decreases. At the halfway point, 56 inches long.
Ooh, you are going to like that one.
And it tapers down, and you can see it started at this tapered end. She has since come out with 2 other patterns that are the similar shape, but maybe one's using cables. And I forget what the other one's using, but this is all just rib stitches. I just think that center is pretty.
I do too. Very pretty.
Yeah. And the people who have seen it said, Dawn, that is so not your color. Still not a color I work with. I like it, but well, let me
It's
tell
not
you
one that you wear.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about the yarn. It's the first time I'm using Holst garn yarn. That's a yarn from Denmark. I am using it in the Tides base, which is their wool silk base. I'm holding 2 strands of that. And I'm also holding a strand of Holst Titicaca. I just like saying that word. Okay. And that is a single strand of alpaca. So I've not ordered Holst before, but if you haven't seen it, it comes in cones like this.
Oh my goodness. That's like a bale.
500 grams from Denmark. It's less than $30 for the, now they say it's fingering. It is light fingering at best. So I'm holding 2 strands. And then the Titicaca comes in these little 50-gram skeins. Impressive on the Holst website. They tell you if you're ordering any of their wools, what color of Titicaca would go best with it. And if there isn't one, there's nothing listed. So that is nice. So this is actually called the one I'm using is Lagoon. The cone was in the aqua colorway. Now I said 500 grams. I went ahead and took mine off the big cone and put them into cakes, and my cakes added up to 569 grams. So 9 extra. And of course that was not, I didn't include the weight of the cone in there, but yeah, so I am liking Holst. So I may have ordered a couple of cones.
Would that have been pre-January 1st?
That was so last year. So that coral reef wrap is knit on a US size 8. I gave it $2 signs for the fiber and $3 signs for the pattern. The pattern is currently being sold for $7.23. Now, will it be done by the next podcast? Not sure, because I have another class coming up that I'm going to have to do some serious knitting on too. Then the last thing I have on my needles, can you believe that? I only have 4 things on my needles.
Gee whiz, you turned over a couple of leaves at the first of the year.
Oh, the DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mowry. I'm teaching a class on it in May, so I thought I better get going. So the DRK socks, oh, this is going to be so inappropriate. Okay. I'm going to show you what they look like, but you can't say it out loud.
Well, don't keep holding it up, Dawn. Flip it the other way so that we don't look at it like that. There you go. Thank you.
Even my husband says, you know what that looks like? Yeah, I know. Okay.
That's because he works in a middle school.
That's true. I think a lot of people did this pattern, but if you haven't seen it, it's toe up. It is ribbed all the way around the foot. The entire sock will be ribbed.
That'll make for a nice snug fit, I think.
I think so. And then a couple of new techniques, which I'll talk about in what I'm learning. This has a Flegel heel. You could use contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, but I am using Heritage sock prints in the number 101 colorway, which are, as you can see, are the pinks and the grays. I'm liking the real gentle color changes. I don't know how high I will knit it as far as up my leg. I'll try to hit about halfway on the yarn. So the pattern comes in 11 sizes. So wow, you could knit one for everybody, you know. Now I've seen it blocked out. In fact, I didn't ask Judy's permission, but she gave me her finished ones so that I can show them in the class. There's an example of contrasting, but you can really see the rib there very well.
Yes.
And you'll see the Flegel heel as you pick up for the gusset. You never pick up stitches. You just keep knitting in the round. So I can't wait to get that far and see.
Oh yeah, that'll be brand new for me.
This not knit by me. This is knit by my dear friend Judy. I figured people taking the class probably want to see a picture of what the sock looks like finished. Some details about that. I gave, it's knit on a US size 1 or 2.25 millimeter. I gave the, on the frugalometer, I gave the fiber $2 signs and I gave the pattern $3 signs. The pattern is currently being sold for $7 on Ravelry. That is all that's on my needles. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. Where's my sister Dawn? What have you done with her?
I've got 3 things waiting to cast on. Going back to work is for the birds, so I need to retire and get 14 things on the needles again.
Really?
No, I really don't. I really am manageable right now, which is nice. I can usually work on each of the projects a little bit every day. So
very good.
All right. What's anything off your needles?
Nope.
Okay. Now I have quite a few little things off my needles, so let's see if I can keep that fairly organized. I did a cowl. I think this would be what we would call a kofo. I don't think I'd casted it on last time, but remind me, cast, I never know how to say that. Did I have it started last time? This is called Ladies Mantle.
I don't believe so.
It is a ribbed cowl using short rows.
Well, look at that. It's very Elizabethan. Yeah,
I think I need about 6 of these. So a friend of mine knit this. It was spectacular, so I copied her. The yarn I used was in my stash. It's Aran weight. It is Rowan Cocoon in the Alpine colorway. It's all knit on a US size 9. The pattern, I gave $2 on the frugalometer and also the yarn $2. The pattern is for sale on Ravelry for $5. It is one of those though, if you purchase the yarn that was recommended, the pattern came free.
Oh, how nice.
It was Fiber Company Tundra, which I think you and I use Tundra.
Yes,
but
Phobos hat.
I did not have any Tundra. So now I've got to do one more of these with Mohair, don't you think? I like this. I need everything.
No, my frame did not freeze. I don't think you need one more thing with Mohair, Dawn.
I need 10 more. No, I don't mind. This is a tad scratchy though, the yarn.
Oh, then you need Mohair for sure, because that'll make it scratchier.
No, and I need it in pink. Okay.
Whatever.
I like this. You can see
I do like it. I think it lays very nicely.
Too. I'm getting a Catholic nun vibe. Okay. All right. So might as well keep going on cowls. I finished another Colorshift.
Oh my goodness.
This is my leftovers from.
I did not know you finished that.
This has been in the car for when I'm waiting to pick up Austin and stuff.
Look at you.
This is yet another leftover from a Stephen West. Not this year though. Must have been a few years ago. Look at that. Oh, I need another one of these. I need one. Well, maybe I don't need another one right away.
That is very pretty, though. I like the way you did that. It marled nicely.
Yeah. Pinks and purples and grays. Why not? So again, $5 pattern on Ravelry. All fingering weight. Starts on a US 6, goes to a 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you're ever interested, about 300 grams. total yarn in this, and I'm just about a half inch from the recommended length. They recommend going 18 inches. I ran out of yarn a little earlier than that, like at 17, a little over 17 and a half. So I just ended it. I didn't want to break into any more yarn. So what a great way to use.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
$1 sign for the fiber since it's all stashed, $2 for the pattern. Again, Colorshift by Carina Spencer.
I like it.
I like that too. All right. Now let's go on a hat parade, shall we?
Yes.
My charity knit for the month. That's the Bankhead hat by Susie Gorley. It's a free tattered on Ravelry. I have no idea what yarn this is. Last podcast, I showed a pair of kids' mittens with the same yarn. So between the two, I used up just about the entire skein. If I had to guess, it feels DK-ish. And definitely, I machine washed and machine dried this. So it is, definitely has an acrylic base in there, or some acrylic in there that it washed up really well. I did it on a US size 7, $1 for both the pattern and the yarn. So
very nice.
All right, now the next hat. Oh, wait till you see this one, because you're gonna want one, Miss Penny.
I can only imagine. Oh, look at Mohair.
Oh, Mohair, 104 strands of Mohair. Look at this thing.
How much does it weigh?
I don't know.
Probably an ounce.
Oh my gosh, I need another one of these. Okay.
I will say, I like it. I think it's pretty.
Interesting. You only decrease on the two sides. Do you see the decrease lines?
Oh, yeah.
Now, there is no pattern for this. I put the hashtag in. It's the I better get this right. I'm so Mohair beanie on Instagram. This lady who designed it is in Finland. She did a US translation with her phone, and I was actually able to follow it. But
cool.
I think I'm going to keep this pattern for any leftover mohairs. So the mohair I used on these were all in little spools. The Katia Concept 50 mohair shades. I think they have 5 or 6 shades of gray, but I just did 4. I don't have enough left over to do another one with just those colors. I'd have to mix and match. It's knit on a US size 5. The pattern is currently free since it's on Instagram. The yarn, I gave it a $4 sign. Washed and blocked really nice, but you are right, it weighs next to nothing. And look
So
how
it is only one layer, correct?
one layer. It's just 1 by 1 ribbing.
Okay.
Like that.
Now I have a question. What happens if you need to splice mohair and bring in an extra strand? Do you just tuck it? You don't? Yeah, okay. That's why I was thinking it should hold itself, but I was just curious.
And I didn't try a magic knot. Now, I like it where it's long enough to do that double folded brim. Okay. Woo! Okay, sorry. Like mohair. All right, let's do another hat too, since we're on the mode. You haven't seen this one either?
Goodness, look at you. You're a hat machine.
Well, these are just little projects that were nice to get on. Let's see and make sure I get this information correctly. I just licked my fingers, for Pete's sake. I don't know if I didn't put this on the list, so let me see if I can remember. It's the Christina hat by
Okay.
Eichelberger from iRock Knits. The yarn I bought right from Christina. It was named after Christina, who is the dyer of Chelsea Yarns. So this is Chelsea Luxe. I bought a kit right from Chelsea Yarns. It had the beads. Look at that. I like that too. So it's fun how the beads, when you do the brim, appear to be on the wrong side, but then when you flip the brim, they're on the outside. I followed the pattern as written. Why do I think it's on the US 8? But I could be wrong about that. I apologize. I'll try to get that to you for show notes.
That's all right. I can find it on your project page.
I had quite a bit of mohair left over. Both the mohair and the yarn is in pink peony. I don't know if, can you see every once in a while you get a little blip of purple.
Oh, I can see a little bit. Yeah.
It was fun. I have a locking stitch marker in there. What's that there for? Probably to tell me it was time to place a bead. Yeah, so you can see what it looks like unblocked. So those beads are underneath.
Neat. And I'm guessing the blips on that hat are beads.
Yeah, those are round beads that came.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if I'd like the beads. Now, I read a lot of the project pages. Some people said they ran out of beads and some said they played yarn chicken. I didn't have either issue.
Oh,
And I just did it as written. I like it. Nice job, Corey. Chelsea Lux yarn, beautiful to work with. My mohair had a couple of little breaks in it, but not a big issue. So I don't know if I pulled it, which could have been the case, but I was able to splice it right in. Yeah, the Christina hat by Corey Eichelberger. Now, is that it? Oh, I went to a crank in. So a crank in is a knit in for people who have the circular sock machines. So I have an Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster. I went to Pine Haven, which is a little resort near Baraboo, Wisconsin. Oh, if you ever get a chance to go there, it was wonderful, impeccably clean, marvelous. We took over the living room and we cranked for 3 days. And I'm just going to show you some of the socks I cranked. This is an interesting yarn to me that slowly changed colors. Yeah. So I crank 64. I have a 64 slot cylinder. I always do 1x1 ribbing at the top, 3x1 ribbing through the leg and down the top of the foot. And yeah.
very nice.
These are on my project page. Look at these. Aren't those fun Christmas colors?
Oh, they are fun.
This is Active yarn. It's a German wool that I get from CSM Supplies. Jamie runs that store and she sells the big cones. These come on 400-gram cones, which work really well on the machine. So again, same kind of pattern. Steve wanted a pair.
Oh, very nice.
That's the denim colorway. Now I'm trying my hand again at these little shorties. So I'm going to make Nicky and Donna try them for me. So my understanding for shorties is not only are they shorter, you do a deeper heel so that they don't slide down the back of your shoe. So when I do socks, usually I do 64 stitches. So my heel is 32 stitches or half the needles that are, or half the stitches that are on my needles. To do a deep heel, if you've not done one before, is you incorporate more stitches. So instead of 32, I added 4 extra stitches on the right and 4 on the left. So 32, 34, 36, 30, 40. So 40 stitches to do those heels. It just gives you some extra room and it makes this gap here a little bit deeper. So if you have somebody with a high arch, I guess that works a little bit better. So I tried a couple pair of those. I think I like the looks of these. I like the fit where I have a little bit more room in here. This will be hidden in my shoe. This will come out the top of like a tennis shoe. So I want Nicky and Donna to try those and see what they think. Oh, and I just had some more of that yarn. So I did yet another pair of the ones I did for Steve, but.
Ooh.
So that
You
was,
were busy.
yeah, it was great. And I also cranked a little bunny. And if I can get that finished, I'll show you. I'm not into stuffies, I hate to say. It's a whole lot of work for just a little thing. That is what is off my needles. So what are you learning?
Right before your very eyes. I am learning actually that for me, and I say this only for me, right? So it's not for everyone. That humility is key in my knitting journey for learning and for enjoying the process, because this shawl has humbled me in a variety of ways. Number one, very easy pattern. 4-row repeat. I've had it memorized since the beginning. And I think I got a little bit too confident, not paying attention. Of course, I had to frog, or I didn't frog, I tinked, because I'm not good at picking up lace. So another point of humility for me. where I know you are much better at picking up lace than I am. I tinked row by row back, and it has helped me to sit back and savor the process a little bit more. So I'm sure it's not that way for everyone, but for me, I think I need to remain humble in order to continue learning and to continue enjoying the process. Yeah, what are you learning?
Very good. A couple of things. When I did this last color shift, she writes a pattern that says that she recommends using a tubular cast on and a tubular bind off, or any stretchy cast on and cast off that you like. So I've always just done a pretty simple cast on, but this time I decided I'm going to do the tubular, and it just gives a really nice finished edge.
Oh,
I've never done a tubular bind off on anything, and it's a sewn bind off. And just so you know, I followed Andrew Mowry's videos. Look at that bind off. It just looks really nice.
yeah, I do like that. Very polished.
Yeah. So that was new to me, is a sewn tubular bind off. It is just a tad different than a Kitchener.
Mm-hmm.
You know whose video I really enjoyed for this one? I watched quite a few. I watched Very Pink Knits. I watched maybe an Andrew Mowry, but Chili Dog gave the best, for me, the best direction. Her camera angles were perfect, and she took a couple of the steps and made it into one motion, so it became a few less steps to follow. So I had to follow the video for about the first maybe 25% of the bind off, and then as long as nobody talked to me, I wish you could feel this. This is just amazing to me how squishy that fabric is. The other thing I learned was in the DRK everyday socks, she uses, instead of Judy's Magic cast on for a toe up sock, I'm going to show you Judy's sock again. She does a Turkish cast on, and you can't hardly even see. It just kind of blends really well together.
Ooh, I like that.
I did follow Andrea Mowry's tutorial on that, and she did a marvelous job explaining it. And she's just got a soothing voice too. So same with Knit Pearl Hunter. I like her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So those were the two new techniques that I've learned. So, and I may try at the end of this sock, I may try a tubular cast off to see.
Oh, might as well. It's the only way you're going to learn which one you like, or the advantages and disadvantages, right?
And I still need help with the tubular cast on. I don't know it well enough. I think it's got a 3-row setup or a 4-row setup. And so a petsy to get going, but just a beautiful look when it's finished. So I am excited about that.
Ooh, as you should be. Speaking of being excited, I'm excited about what's happening here at Frivolous and Frugal. We are in a very nice rhythm of enjoying what we're doing. And one of the things we enjoyed most deeply and sincerely was the question we posed in our last episode. And that question was, what did you learn in 2022 about knitting? What was your big lesson? And I don't know about you, Dawn, but it was so meaningful to read everyone's lesson. And they ranged from just learning how to take it slow and enjoy the process, to learning how to use stash, to learning how to limit the number of projects, to learn how to say no to cows, to learn how to work with different tools and different types of yarn, and even learning new stitches and new techniques. It was, to me, probably one of our richest chats. And so thank you, everyone who contributed. It was just wonderful. And as promised, random number generator selected our winner, and you, excuse me, Miss Emily V, have won a pattern of your choice, not to exceed $10. Message Dawn and she will help you through that. Emily wrote that the most important thing I learned was to not stress about finishing projects fast and to just enjoy the process. I want the FO, but I knit because I like the meditative rhythm of it. And I would agree with you, darling. I would agree. That was one of my lessons from last year. So thanks for participating. And we look forward to hearing your input in our next discussion or after every episode, whichever you prefer. So please continue to participate in our Finish, Fix, Flip, or Frog It Cal on Ravelry. All you have to do is upload your project and tell us a little bit about it. We will be selecting a prize from that thread in episode 96. Dawn mentioned earlier that she is part of hashtag Burracowl 2023, and we are participating with several other podcasters who are doing that. As far as we're concerned, we don't care if you enter in all of them plus ours. We really have no rules. So please post your pictures. And if you're interested in getting involved in any other CALs, let me just mention that 3-ply podcast, Knit in Pieces, Around the Table Yarns, Dude Knits, Got Whips, Magpie's Cottage, Pandemic Knitter, and PJ Knits are all doing this with us. So please support their podcast and their CAL. Finally, we will not be drawing again for anything special during episode 90, or it would be episode 96, other than the Finish, Fix, or Frog It Cal. The last thing I want to mention is our mini meetup. And of course, the theme for this year is back to basics. So we are really going to gather and knit. That's it. No pomp, no circumstance, no bougie swag bags, nothing. Wear your knits. That's going to be our fashion show. So wear your knits so that you can share those with everyone, and mark your calendars, because this year the meetup starts on Friday, July 28th and ends Saturday night, the 29th. We are going to stay at the same hotel. So please see our thread in Ravelry for the link. If you do not get the special knit-in price, please message us, and we'll make sure we add more rooms, reserved rooms to our block. They have been filled up a couple of times already. So thank you for those of you who have already made your reservations. We look forward to knitting and chatting with you later in July. And that's all I have for events. Dawn, do you have any honorable mentions?
I do not.
I didn't either. So we always close, for those of you who are first-time viewers, our podcasts with what would Nicky say? Because she is a sister who has embraced knitting, although she doesn't knit, and she is a golfer, and she always has a nugget to share with us. So this episode, Nicky would say to us, taking a moment to smell the roses, the grass, or even just to listen to the birds sing brings you back to reality, and you can solve anything at that point. And there's so much truth to that. When you unfocus and let your mind just experience the moment, it's so amazing how solutions come to mind. So thanks, sis. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you, our viewers. We're hoping that your week will be a sweet twist to the frivolous and frugal. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in episode 96. Bye-bye.
Bye.